I'm Colton Kugler. I am a senior at Loyola Marymount University, although I have a 5th year. I added a business degree, but I'm a film and production major, and I've been on ASLMU in my time here. I'm in the honors program. I'm a part of Ignatian's service organization, and I've gone on some IC and AB trips that have been pretty formative to my experience. My experience with service at LMU in general has been the most meaningful to me, and just opened up like an entire new way of thinking and operating that I didn't necessarily expect going to college, but has hands down been the best thing. So in terms of like an organization, that would be my service org, Ignatian's. It's been the most impactful. That doesn't mean it's always been the easiest or even the most fun, but it's challenged me in a multitude of ways. I joined the spring of my first year, and I'm a senior now, so it's been like a part of my LMU journey for most of it. And so we go to different service placements and establish relationship there and accompany others, and I've just learned a lot about social justice and service and how that can play out in my life and potentially where I can integrate it in the future, whether that's film or documentary work or writing or you name it. And then other service exposure I've had has been just as formative too, if not more so. So IC, which is Ignacio Companion Trips through campus ministry. I've been lucky enough to go on 2 of those, one to Cambodia, another to Ecuador, and then an AB alternative break trip through the Center of Service and Action to India. And so all those service experiences have kind of accumulated. I would say that community is the backbone of everything. So first and foremost for incoming students, you've got to find a community. That doesn't mean it'll be the one you stick with. It doesn't mean it'll be the one that you necessarily end up relating to in the same way when you're graduating. But plugging yourself in right away and finding that space, whether it is in your residence hall or your academic area of study, friends you randomly meet in class that you go hang out with in LA, a service org, Greek life, another club, cultural organization, religious activities as well. All of those things are kind of aspects of identity and experience that you can play around with. For me, I'm very much a big net kind of person, so I cast a wide search and explore a lot of things first, and then after I sift and filter through, the most important ones end up sticking with me. So I would say don't be afraid to dip your feet in the water and get them wet, try a lot of things. College is literally the time to try, not everything, but it's a very experimental phase, and that's where growth comes from. So yeah, the things you've always wanted to try, things you didn't know you want to try, put yourself out there to meet new people, especially the first few weeks. Everyone's kind of in the same boat. There's this excitement and energy in going to college and all the upperclassmen returning to college that's pretty unreplicated elsewhere, and you don't get that after you graduate. So yeah, meeting people and just trying to be authentic and open-minded, and I think good things will fall into place and doors will open, and then you can thrive. There's too many. I'll give you a few. The people, yes, the age-old cliche, but I think you don't have to go to college these days for most things. You could learn a skill, you can get a job. There's a lot of trade-based jobs that pay more than someone has from a college education, which might also put you in debt. But the thing you might not necessarily get if you don't go to college is the network that you build here. And I think that the people that are drawn to LMU and that attend here for the most part are some of the best I've ever met, and have changed me in huge ways, and hopefully I've contributed to them and are not only going to be valuable resources down the road and people to rely upon, but also lifelong friends and spouses and people who you'll interact with forever. And so I felt very lucky in that regard to the people I've met, and I'm a firm believer in kind of your tribe creates your vibe, that kind of thinking. And so just surrounding myself with the best of the best here has almost felt easy, because the student body is really, really cool at LMU. And so I feel lucky in that regard, and definitely that's what's going to stick the most. The Bluff is gorgeous. I've had great connections with professors. Living in LA, which is one of the largest, most diverse cities in the country, has also been huge for me just in terms of fun, like access to the ocean and any concert you can imagine or film premiere. LAX is so close. I've gotten to travel more than I have like the rest of my life combined, but at the end of the day, like when I walk across the stage and leave this physical space, it's like the people I will take with me and continue communicating with and spending time with and being with that made LMU home to me. I got the chance to study abroad at LMU. So the film production program goes to Bonn, Germany, which used to be the capital of West Germany, fall of your junior year, and you make a documentary. It's called a 360, I believe, and that's your junior level film. I really liked this experience, not only because I was living in another country and getting like really close to my group there, as you would expect, but also because of the documentary aspect. It's hard to shoot in Los Angeles because of permitting and rules and like all the infrastructure that's in place. But there's this very like creative, organic energy that I found in Europe. And we were allowed to shoot anywhere in the EU for the most part and come up with all these ideas. So just being in that idea phase and seeing my classmates find these really cool subjects and topics all around that they wanted to show through the medium of film was pretty inspiring, and also really hardworking for us to start with just like an idea together and then throughout the entire semester make 13 different films and be one another's backbone and support. We were living in homestays, which was a unique experience, living with another family who opens their doors and was welcoming us in, trying to speak some German. It's not easy. Mein Deutsch ist nicht gut, but you should definitely try to learn some of the language if you get the chance to study abroad. I think that's like a point of respect, and also it's a good like skill to have. It was not easy, and I think people glamorize studying abroad a lot. You see like the best of the best on their social media, them doing this and that and kind of thriving, but homesickness was like very real for me, which was unique because I'm not often homesick here at LMU, even though I'm an out-of-state student. But yeah, living in Europe is a whole other ballpark. Like you're across an ocean, and I think I grew a lot from that, and most people would from an experience of that nature.